Hello everyone, and welcome to another Leetcode video. Hello everyone, and welcome to another Leetcode video. Today we're looking at the problem count substrings that can be rearranged to contain a string, which was question 4 from weekly contest 416. So the question reads that we are given two strings, word 1 and word 2. A string x is called valid if x can be rearranged to have word 2 as a prefix. We want to find all these substrings of word 1 that are valid. So, for example, we're given the string ABC, ABC, and we have to find substrings that can be rearranged to have this prefix ABC. We'll see that the output is 10 because all substrings except for substrings of size 1 and 2 are valid. So let's take a closer look at this example and see exactly how this would work. So some initial thoughts that you might have when looking at this problem is maybe we could brute force it, right? So we could do an O of n squared approach where we just literally try every single substring of word 1 and see if it can be rearranged to make word 2. So we could do that, like say we take this substring here, ABCA. How can we tell if we could rearrange this to make a word with this prefix? Well, we see that this is already technically in that order, so we don't have to do much here. But let's take another example. What if we had BCAB? We'll see that the prefix here is not ABC, but we can technically rearrange this word to make a substring with this prefix. And what would that be? Well, we could rearrange this to be A, B, C, B, right? So, okay, well, that tells us we can, but how do we tell that in code? Well, we could, for each substring, try to sort this and then go through and see if it matches the substring, but that's going to be way too slow because for each substring, O of n squared substrings, we'd have to do an n log n operation, and then again go through each substring and O of n time to try to compare it. This is just way too slow. This is not going to work. So first things first, how do we actually tell if we can rearrange one substring to make another? Well, instead of trying to sort it, what we can do is use the counts of the characters. Because remember, we can rearrange this in any way that we like. So all that really matters is that the counts are equal. And what do I mean by counts? So we'll see here that word 2, if we examine the counts, we have 1A, we have 1B, and we have 1C. So as long as for each of these keys, we find complementary keys in the substring that are greater than or equal to this, we know that we could rearrange this to match this prefix, right? So let's take a look at an example. So we'll have B, we have 2, C, we have 1, A, we have 1. We compare A to A here. We have greater than or equal to the amount of A's, so this checks out. C, 1 to 1, this checks out. Here we have greater than, so this checks out. So basically what we're going to do, rather than sorting this and trying to look at the prefix, is just keep counts of how many we have in word 2 and how many we have in word 1. And if we check all of these keys and in this word 1 dictionary we have greater than or equal to that count, then we know that's valid, right? So that got rid of this portion, but we're still left with this O of n squared, and this is still going to be too slow. So how do we get rid of this? So one important thing that we need to observe is that when we eventually find a substring of word 1 that is valid, then every other substring starting at this position will be valid. So what does that mean? Remember, we're comparing the counts. We need to make sure that all these characters here have at least equal to or greater than in the substring we're looking at. So let's look at this substring ABC. We see that the counts are equal here, so we know that we can count this substring. Okay, so let's move on to ABCA. So we'll see that this is also valid here because we have all the previous counts that we have and we're just adding on. So we'd add another A here we'd add another B, here we add another C. So what you should see from this pattern is that once we actually find a substring that's valid, technically that means every substring after this is going to be valid, right? Because we've already found the criteria that makes sure we can have that prefix. So anything after this, we already know is going to be a string that we can count. And I'll say that again. Once we find the point where that prefix becomes valid, we know that everything after, right? So everything after here is just going to be basically for free. We can assume that because we're just adding characters and we've already met that valid condition, that everything after that is going to be valid. So what does that mean? So when we actually get to this point here, we don't actually have to go through and check the rest of these strings that start with A, right? Because we know that we found this location here, so we can count 1, 2, 3, 4 substrings that are valid. And why are there 4 valid substrings from this point? Well, we see that we have the valid substring here from ABC that is valid, matches our counts, and then everything after this will also match our count. So everything from the last character of the substring to the end is going to be valid. So we see that we actually don't even have to check the rest of the substring starting from this position once we find a valid position. So then what do? Well, we know we don't have to go right, so we can then go left. So instead of increasing our window and moving our window to the right, we can decrease it, right? And you can see here, what's coming out is the sliding window pattern. So we're going to use sliding window to solve this. And you'll see now we've decreased our window. So our counts now are B1 and C1. And we no longer have that A, right? And we know that we have to have at least one A to make it valid with this word too. So this no longer becomes valid. Once we don't have a valid substring here, well, now we need to start moving our right again until we become valid. So again, we'll come here, our new string is BCA, and this becomes 1. But again, our counts are going to match up with what's in word 2, so this becomes valid. So how many substrings do we count? We know that every substring ending from here till the end will be valid. So we have 1, 2, 3 substrings. And now we don't need to count anymore from the right because we found all the substrings from this position. So again, we shrink our left. So now we have CA. Again, this is not valid because we only have CA and not enough Bs. So we have to move right again. So now we have CAB. And you'll see that what we're actually doing is we're just expanding our window to the right far enough where we find the first valid substring. And once we get there, we know that everything from there until the end is going to be valid. So there's no point in moving our right pointer anymore. We can start shrinking our window and looking for further substrings. So the time complexity of this approach will be O of n. And this is O of n because what we're doing is we're just going to go through each character at most twice, right? Our right pointer will hit each character at most once, and our left will also hit at most once. However, there is one complication here. So to actually check the equality of these counts, we actually have to go through all the characters in this dictionary and all the characters in this dictionary and compare them to make sure that they're equal. So you might think, oh, isn't that O of n? Well, it's actually not. That would be O of 26. And why is that 26? Because the keys are actually letters of the alphabet, right? And we only have 26 characters in this problem. We are going to have at most 26 keys, one for each letter of the alphabet. So even though for each position n, we potentially have to go through 26 keys, it doesn't matter because this is a fairly small constant that gets eliminated anyway in our analysis, so we end up with O of n. So let's hop over to the code and see exactly how this will work. So the first thing we do here is set up two dictionaries. First, we're going to have this word 1 count, which is going to start as just an empty dictionary. We're also going to take the count of all the characters in word 2. Then we're going to have 3 variables, our left and our right, which are going to be used for our sliding window, as well as our answer, which we're going to use to just keep track of our answer and return at the end. So we're going to have this while loop that's while our right pointer is less than the length of word. So we're going to make sure our right goes all the way to the end. When we hit this position, we're just going to add whatever character is at that right position and increment its count by 1. Then we're going to start with the assumption that the substring we're looking at is true until proven false otherwise. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to go through all the keys in word to count, that dictionary of characters that we counted already for word 2. And what we're going to do is this comparison. We need to make sure that the substring we're looking at in word 1 has at least greater than or equal to the counts that word 2 has. So if we ever see that the count is less than what's in word 2, we assume that valid is false. So if valid is false, we skip over this whole clause and increment our right, because we know that this is not a substring we can count, and we have to keep expanding our window to the right. However, if it is valid, remember, we're not going to keep expanding our right anymore. While it's valid, we're going to assume that everything from here until the end is going to be counted in our answer, but we have to start shrinking our window until we're not valid anymore. So what we do is say, if we're valid, and while our left pointer is less than or equal to our right pointer, we're going to add the length of word 1, so the total length of the word, minus our right pointer. And why do we do that? Remember, we said that if we find a window that is valid, we know that everything from the end of that window to the end of the word is going to be counted in our answer. So we just add that difference in here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to decrement whatever is in the left from the counts of word 1, and then we're going to move our left by 1. So if at any point we break out of that valid condition, if at any point one of the keys in word 2, the value is greater than what's in word 1, we know that this substring is no longer valid, so we want to break out of that while loop after this. So that's the logic for a sliding window. Then at the end, we're just going to return our answer. So let's submit this and make sure that it works. And it does work. So hopefully this was helpful and it made sense. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.